Hey all, Cypher, and welcome back to another Dislyte video. This is going to be an updated guide for the new Apep that just came in like patch 3.1.7. Now we all know that all the bosses, all the ritual miracle bosses got way harder after the update, especially Apep. I think Apep is like the boss where people are having the most trouble, and significantly so, right? So before we go into the actual team, first we'll just look at an overview of the Apep, what he brings, what are his abilities, and everything to counter him, basically. Firstly, talking about rewards, Apep is now, I think, one of, if not the best way to get the meta relics. So like every time, like every season or like every balance patch, there's supposed to be metas, right? So I think the speed meta where Chronos dominated has already died out. This is more of a tank meta, and Hades set, which gives you lifesteal on like all of your abilities. I think Hades set is gonna be the meta relic set, coupled with like Ocean Waves. Like Ocean Waves is a solid set for all espers, utility espers who have very high base cooldowns on their abilities, such as like Phantom Sisters, Jinyu Yao, Anki Try. Heck, I've seen even people run like like Ocean Waves on healers like Yesua, Ahmed, Heng Yue, Sally. Like, you know, it's a very diversified set. Second of all, the Sword of Aftara set. This is another specially built set for tanks. It's even used sometimes on DPS, but this is majorly used on tanks, which are very high base attack on their first skills, such as Everett is there. Hide is the prominent example, the most prominent example. Along with that, there's also this critical hit set, which you might want to use if you're an early game player. You cannot get enough critical rate from your relics because, you know, they're bad quality. Crit set is like very handy to get your crit rate up to 100% so that your DPS is more consistent. Once you're cleared, what are the rewards? Let's just go and look at the strategy. Now, Apep is a big boy, and he's very toxic. Unironically, he's pretty toxic. His first skill, Miasma, it's an AoE attack, and each hit can deal 2 hits of poison. So essentially, it's I think each poison takes out like 5% of your max HP. So this is instantly 10% of your max HP because it inflicts 2 poison stacks. His second skill is called Toxic Detonation, and this is where the actual damage comes from because of Apep. This is also an AoE attack, and it detonates all poison stacks on your espers. So even like it does not matter how many stacks there are, it will like detonate. It's like an instant burst, right? It deals damage based on the number of defects affecting the target. So this is also a big thing. If the poison stacks are low, the damage will also be lower. If there are more debuffs, so more poison stacks, the damage will be much higher. Secondly, it also dispels all enemy buffs. So if you have like an immunity, forget about it. It will dispel. Like, this is unresistible. Alright, keep that in mind. And he also now restores HP. The HP healing is based on like the amount of a percentage. So basically, consider him healing almost 100%. So this is pretty broken. So already what we can see, we have to bring espers that can apply the disease buff, the debuff, sorry, so that the Apep cannot heal himself. Second of all, we need to bring espers that well, once, yeah, they have to bring some sort of immunity, or we can bring espers that you know, cycle cleanse, such as Jinyu Yao is there. There's Sally, and there's Clara. So, you know, we need consistent removal of poisons. His third passive is what makes him literally unkillable beast. Upon taking damage, inflicts poison on the attacker. So forget trying to speed cleave him, because the more turns you take attacking him, the more poison stacks you apply on yourself. When taking a certain number of attacks, he triggers Toxic Detonation on our targets immediately. That's also a big negative of speed cleaving this boss. Second of all, increases damage taken from Inferno Espers and increases damage dealt to non-Inferno Espers. I mean, this has been quite the shit show with the update, where each of these bosses now prefer an element. So our team formation is already restricted to bringing Inferno element espers only, because they have a massive advantage. We've already seen the advantage that you get if you bring the correct element espers into the different bosses. Apep is no different. Bringing Inferno espers is going to be the best bet if you want to have the highest win rate possible. When attacked by non-Inferno espers, increases their miss rate. Inflicting poison and dispelling status effects won't miss and can't be resisted. Guys, so they're basically saying that you cannot cleanse the poisons and they won't be resisted. Right? Increases poison damage against non-Inferno Espers. Again, they'll literally get one shot. Especially the non-Inferno Espers. Even your squishy like Inferno Espers will get one shot. They have like enough number of stacks of poisons. After a certain number of turns, increases damage every turn. So again, tanks are useless, kind of, because the longer the fight drags on, the more damage Apep will do until like he literally one-shots even your tanks. Now the left tablet is an AoE, and it will have a fixed chance of stunning targets who are affected by poisons. So there's a very high chance. This tablet has quite high accuracy. The right tablet is called the Blessing tablet. Now this is also an AoE, and this one will inflict poison for 3 turns. And this is the poison actually that will not miss and cannot be resisted. Correct? So again, all the poisons cannot miss, cannot be resisted. They can be cleansed. I'm sorry if I said they cannot be cleansed. They can be cleansed. But yeah, so this boss, basically the things you have to keep in mind is to bring Inferno Element Espers first of all. Bring Espers that can cycle cleanse. For example, like Sally is a flow element, I know, but you know, she's an exception because she does not directly deal damage. She's a healer. So you can potentially bring Sally. Even like I myself, I do bring Sally because I have her at R3. She's like one of my strongest healers and she cycle cleanses a lot. Third, you need to bring at least 2 DPS heroes, in my opinion. Sanders, again, is one of the best preferred Espers for this dungeon because of his ability to reduce the AP. He has very high damage scaling potential and he can cycle pretty fast. Jawser is like the king of Apep, honestly, because he has this, diseased buff that he brings. When Bull Rage is active, attacks inflict disease on targets for 2 turns. And he also has some innate decent scaling of damage. He also brings his defense down debuff. So potential for like, one-shotting, not even one-shotting, but increasing overall DPS. Next up, I mean, Booster. I don't really recommend bringing Booster, but my runs have been pretty consistent with him. The thing with Booster is his ally attacks that he does, he gets a lot of poisons and he dies most of the time in fights, but my runs are pretty consistent. Fifth hero that I'm going to be bringing is called Jin Yu Yao. She's just an MVP because she cycle cleanses a lot. She also inflicts, like, throws back the poison debuffs from allies to the Apep himself, which is amazing. And yeah, this is not a free-to-play team. This is not at all a free-to-play team. I have 3 legendaries. One Sally is at R3. So yeah, I'm not advertising this as free-to-play. This is very pay-to-win. And my relics are also pretty top gear. They're literally top gear Maverick. I'm running Sally as the resistance lead. She brings like 40% resistance. Better chance, of resisting debuffs. I'll take that any day. So let's just take a look at the runs. This is pretty close to 100%. Every time I will say no run is 100%. There's always some RNG fuck-ups that can happen. This is very close to 99%. Alright, let's see. Jawser boy. I mean, it's funny that after this update, a lot of the unusable Espers are now getting some work, right? Like Jawser, he was borderline unusable. He was never used anywhere. And now he's like, suddenly he's like mandatory because of Apep. So I think I don't know if this was like it was like main plan of Lilith to like make these shitty Espers usable, but they definitely ruin progression for players. Like I don't see players who were able to clear Apep with their like the usual teams. It's just impossible to do that anymore. There we go. Sanders uses his 3rd skill. That's pretty sad. But this is the boss stage. There we go. Big boy Apep coming out of the waters. It's just funny like how this dragon, he's like fire spitting shit and like he lives underwater. It's kind of ironic. As you guys can see, like Jin Yu Yao, she's so good at cleansing these buffs. And coupled with Sally's innate healing, Like, look at that. She is gonna transfer every single poison back to the Apep. There we go. There we go. And now this skill will not do the damage that it would normally if we had poisons. Like, look at that. Look at our team. They have 0 poisons. My Jinyu Yao is at Ocean Wave set. Keep in mind. This might be bad. Holy. We need our Sally to move. Come on. I think my booster is for sure gonna die. No, he survived. Thanks to... I mean, Sally's innate, like, damage reduction, which she gives to all Espers when she uses her 3rd skill. That's amazing as well. Yeah, this is where our booster dies. Because he takes a lot of hits, which is pretty bad. Come on, Sally. There we go. Uses her 2nd skill. We just need like one more turn for the Apep to take, and this he will like die himself when he takes a turn. 114k damage on Sandra's 3rd skill. Insane. Borderline insane. Like Sandra's, he does so much damage. Come on. Anytime now. There we go. He should be going down. Bull Rage 40k. Pretty decent. Pretty solid, I must say. So yeah, this is my run. I'll just show it to you once more. Let me just see what relics we get. Seems pretty bad. Okay, this is... I mean, I could potentially roll this for speed and defense. So I'm just gonna show you again once more. Nothing really special about it. Like, only combo you need to keep in mind is to bring a deep cleanser, such as Jinyu Yao. I have like other free-to-play options, not exactly free-to-play, but you know, alternative options might be to playing stuff like Heng Yue maybe instead of Sally, bring Catherine instead of Jinyu Yao, instead of Brewster. Honestly, you can bring any other Inferno DPS, even Chloe works, stuff like even there's also another hero which is a sleeper hit for Apep, the guy who sleeps. What's his name? Steward. Yeah, Steward is also pretty good for this dungeon, especially as like the 5th spot, like a pseudo DPS. Sandra's I think is quite mandatory, to be honest, because his DPS is unrivaled in this dungeon. In this dungeon, honestly, in my opinion. Jawser is also quite mandatory because he has that disease buff, and it's like pretty consistent. And you need this disease buff to be there because Apep will just heal like crazy, and your DPS will just die down. So, you know, it's really important to keep this Jawser, this bull, this raging bull in your team. This run, I mean, you know, these runs are not exactly 100%, as I already told you. There's many times these runs fail. And that's coming from me because my relics are pretty strong, because I was forming Apep even before, you know, the so-called changes or improvements. These are downgrades, by the way. This is not at all an improvement. So my relics are definitely of a higher quality than most of you, especially the new players. Definitely the new players. Like, I cannot imagine if I was a new player. I cannot imagine doing this Apep 16 anytime soon. Like, it's so tough. It's so tough for a new player, and it's ridiculous. Like, it's relics at the end. We need relics, man. This is not the end game, and I think many players have already voiced their opinions on to Lilith about this. Like, this is ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. You know, it's Lilith's job to do this. We cannot really change the code. I wish I could, but you know, I cannot. And there we go. There's the Apep down back in the waters. That dirty old lizard. This is pretty decent. Not gonna lie. This is decent. This one I could potentially roll for speed. Yeah, heck, I'll just keep it. You know, it has the HP bonus, and the substat is also HP bonus. So I'll potentially keep it, you know, for a dark day. But there's that. So let's just take a look at the relics that I'm using. For Sally, using my good old Abiding Panakia set. You know, a lot of HP, defense, HP, and speed on 2, 4, and 6. You can honestly do not need defense, but I just have it because this rolled pretty nice. Like a lot of HP, flat HP and substats as well. So there's that. And Sandra's good old speed set, crit damage, attack, and speed on 2, 4, and 6. Jawser, I'm running on him on the Hades, crit damage, defense, and defense on 2, 4, and 6. Brewster, standard DPS set, crit damage, attack bonus, 2, 4, 6. Jin Yuyao, Ocean Waves, HP bonus, accuracy, speed. That's it. I mean, you could replace accuracy with like speed, to be honest, but I just like having accuracy, you know, because she can transfer debuffs. So yeah, there's that. Hope you guys learned something new. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.